Today we are going to start a new lesson, lesson 2, which talking about which talking about solving trigonometric equations using inverses. In this lesson, we are going to evaluate the inverse trigonometric functions and to solve the equations. Now, before we start, let's remember that we know that in numerical numbers, if I told you like if x cubic is equal 8, this is an equation. And when you need to solve this equation, you need to find the x. In order to find x, you will ask yourself, what is the inverse of x cubic function? You will tell me the cubic root. So you have to put cubic root for the both sides in order to find x. If I told you now, if 2 to the power x is 9, as an example, and you need to find x, you will ask yourself now, what is the inverse of the exponential function? You will tell me it's the logarithmic exponential function. So you need to put logarithm to the base 2, logarithm to the base 2 in order to cancel the exponential. So you will tell me that x is the logarithm to the base 2 of 9. So to solve an equation, you need to find the inverse of what you have now. The same as we have for x cubic roots, the same as we have for the exponential function, the same as we have for, as an example, x over 4 equals 6. You will tell me, you know that the inverse of, just a minute, please. If you know that x over 4 is 6, so you know that the x of derivation, or the inverse of derivation, is that multiplication. So we multiply by the reciprocal here in order to find x. So as we have for the logarithms, for the numbers, for the cubic roots, we have for the trigonometric function. If you know that sine of any angle is like 0.38 as an example. So how did you know this angle? How did you know this theta? You will use the inverse of this angle. So you have to put sine inverse in both sides in order to find theta. Then sine inverse cancel sine. So the angle of theta will be sine inverse of 0.3. This is here mean how to solve the trigonometric equation using the inverses. Now, but before start solving, let's remember that for the cosine, when y is cosine, its domain from 0 to pi, and its range from -1 to 1. Now, today we are going to talk about its inverse here. The inverse, which is cosine inverse of x. Now, the domain of the cosine, okay, the domain of the cosine will be the range of the cosine inverse. And the range of the cosine will be the domain of the cosine inverse. And the same we have for a sine. That the domain, let's remember that the domain for sine is from -pi/2 to pi/2. So the range of the sine inverse will be from -pi/2 to pi/2. And the range for sine is from -1 to 1. And the domain of the sine inverse will be from -1 to 1. And the same we have for tan. That's tan its domain is from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, and its range is from all real number. When we talk about tan inverse, you have to remember that its domain is from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, and its range from negative pi over 2 to pi over 2, and its domain is all real number. This is here. What did you have to remember before talking about how to solve the equations?
Teacher?
Yes.
Teacher, like when you ask us about the domain and the range, you'll always like ask us for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only this takes like
I will not ask you about
cosine and sine.
I will not tell me the domain about sine. This is for you in order to solve the equations.
Like it's just for us. Like you will not ask us for it.
No.
Okay.
It is a math, it's not physics. I will ask you about something like this. Now, use a unit circle or a 30, 60, 90 triangle and an inverse function to find the mid-degree measure of each angle. Now here, use the unit circle, use the calculator, use anything you want. You want now to tell me which angle now its sine is 1. Now, what did you have here? Sometimes the calculator help you and sometimes no. Now, here first, you have to draw the unit circle. And let's remember that on the unit circle here we have 0, 90, 180, 270, and 180. And let's remember that here, the coordinates here. 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 0, 1, and 0, negative 1.
Teacher, you wrote in the right 180. It's 0, 360.
Okay. And then here, and you have to remember that any coordinate is cosine and sine. Now, angle whose sine is 1. So, number 7 here, I'm asking you that which angle that its sine is 1. In order to solve it here, you have to go to the unit circle. It's very easy. Now, which angle it is sine is 1? As you see here, remember that the coordinate is cosine and sine. So, it will be 90. So, you will tell me that the angle here is 90 degrees. Now, is there any other angle that its sine is 1? Look at the unit circle here.
No.
There is no. So, you tell me
the other one is
it's 90. Now, number 8. Angle whose tangent is the square root of 3 over 3. So, tan inverse here for square root of 3 over 3 will be now. So first, remember that in the table here, which angle its tan is the square root of 3 over 3. First, look at the unit circle. Do you remember that the angle that its tan is 1 over square root of 3?
It's 30.
It's 30. Bravo. So now, I want you now to try on your calculator to enter square root of 3 over 3. What do you answer you have? What do you have? You have 30 only, is it right?
It's equal,
It's 30.
for me, it's equal
Try to,
0.57.
no, you made something wrong. So here, it's 30.
Yeah, it's 30, teacher. 30.
Now, but the answer here is not only 30. So, as I told you before, the calculator cannot help us. We are smarter than the calculator. Now, let's see now which angles that its tan is square root of 3/3. One of them is 30, yes. Now, and you have to remember that. Here,
Teacher, isn't it 20? Because I tried it 2 times 20.
yeah, miss, but just a minute, please. Let's explain this one. Now, here we have the sign, or the tan is positive. So I will ask now myself, where's the tan is positive? I will go back now to the unit circle. For the unit circle now, we know before that only in the first quarter and in the third quarter, only the tan is positive. So that's mean we have two angles in the first and in the third quarter. How did you find these angles? Now, I know before that, just a minute, please. Now, I know before that 30, its tan is square root of 3/3. So one of the angles here is 30. For the second angle now, how do you know it? You know to the second quarter here, to the third quarter, and you start from its x-axis, which is here. Now, you will start from this axis here. Just a minute. Okay, and you will rotate 30 degrees. So it is the x-axis here. You want now to rotate 30 degrees. Now, why is 30? Because I told you that when the angles is 30. So you have to rotate 30 degrees from the x-axis in order now to have this angle. Then you have to find now the measure of this angle. Now you know that the measure of this angle here is 180 plus 30. So you have 210. So 30 and 210, its tan is square root of 3/3. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I will repeat that. I can use the calculator to remember me that the tan of square root of 3/3 is 30, but it is not on this answer. I need another angle. To find the other angle, you need to use the unit circle in order to find where is the tan is positive, and then I will start to rotate from the nearest x-axis in order to find the this angle here, which is 210. Now, let's do number 9. Angle whose sine is negative square root of 3/2. So there's a sign of angle. Its sine is square root of 3/2. So in order to solve it, sine inverse of negative square root of 3 over 2 will be. Let's see. Now, square root, let's remember that. Which angle that its sine is a square root of 3 over 2? It's 60. Now, I need now, so I remember that angle, the square root of 3 over 2 is 60. But what did I have here? I have negative square root of 3 over 2. So that means I am in quarter 3 and quarter 4. Because I'm looking at which quarter the sign is negative. This is the first step. Yes.
Isn't it in quarter 2, not quarter 4?
Sign is negative.
In quarter. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So then, so as we say now, it's 60. Now, so the sine of square root of 3 over 2 is 60. So I need now to go to only quarter 3 and quarter 4. Now then, I am now in quarter 3. Then I'm here. I will rotate from the nearest x-axis 60 degrees. So I will rotate now, starting from the x-axis, 60 degrees. And then I will go now to see which angle is this angle. How did I know? I will add 180 to 60. So 180 plus 60, I have 240. So the first angle is 240 degrees. This is for the first one. Now let's see the second angle. Let's see how now. I have to do the same steps, but now I am now in quarter 4. In quarter 4, where's the nearest x-axis? It is the positive x-axis. So I will draw now this line here. Then I will rotate, starting from here with 60 degrees. After that, I found that here, this is 60 degrees. But I need to find now the measure of the angle. How? By this is 180, 270 plus 30. So that means this angle here is a 300, or you can subtract 360 from 60 in order to find angle 300. So now the angles that's its sine is square root of 3 over 2 will be 240 and 300. If you try it now on calculator, inverse of negative square root of 3 over 2, they give you negative 60. So it can help me that one of the angles is negative 60, it's mean 300. Yeah, it's mean 360 minus 60, which is 300. So one of the angles is 300, but I need to find now the second angle, which is 240.
Teacher, so we will make 360 minus 300.
Yes.
Okay, like teacher, like when we find an angle, So we want to find another angle, we will subtract it by 360. Or we can like just rotate it in the plan, right?
لا ما في wait what subtract 360
Like if we have the angle is 60 and to find another angle, we can make like 360 minus 60.
this is to find one of the angles.
Yeah.
But the second angle, no. This angle,
Okay.
you need to think about it. Okay, now number 10. Now, is it clear, Habiba, Maya, Sarah, Lama?
Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
Okay. Okay, now. Number 10. Angle whose tangent is negative square root of 3. So tan of theta is negative square root of 3. I need to find theta now, so I will use tan inverse of negative square root of 3. Now, square root of 3, the tangent here is square root of 3. So I'm talking about angle 60, is it right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 60.
Yeah.
So, but now the tan is negative. Now, where is the tan is negative? It is in quarter 2 and quarter 4. This is here, this is the first step. Then, I will now go to quarter 2. In quarter 2, this is the nearest x-axis. So this is here, the nearest x-axis. Now, I will start rotating from the x-axis in quarter 2 with 60 degrees. And for the other one, I have the same step. I'm in quarter 4. So this is the nearest x-axis. I will start now rotating from the nearest x-axis with 60 degrees. Or approximately here. This is here the first step. Now let's find the measure of the angles. Now, here we have 60. Here we have it as 180. So it will be, you can say 180 minus 60 or 90 plus 30 in order to find that the first angle is 120. Now, for the second one, we have to subtract 360 minus 60 in order to find the second angle, which is 300 degrees. So the two angles that its tan is negative square root of 3, they are 120 and 300. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Teacher, the one that is after the angle 60 in the 270 and 360, it's nothing, right? Like it starts from 30, then 45, then 60.
this is after 2 pi, the second rotation. Did you ask
Okay.
about that? But here, if you look
Yeah.
at, now later on, when you look at the questions, like here, just a minute, please. They tell you now, and you solve the equation from 0, the domain here is from 0 to 2 pi. So I only talk about one rotation from 0 to 360. I will not talk about greater than 2 pi.
Okay.
Now, angle whose cosine is 0. So now I want to find cosine of which angles is 0. So that's mean theta would be cosine inverse of 0. Now, which angles that is cosine inverse is 0?
I think we have two. We have 270 and 90.
Its cosine is 0. We have 90 and 270.
And 270.
Now, number 12. Cosine of theta is negative square root of 2 over 2. Now, I need here to find the angle. To find this angle here now, what did you need to do? You need first to remember that square root of the angle that is cosine is square root of 2 over 2 is 45. But I need now negative the cosine. So where's the cosine is negative? It's in quarter 2 and the quarter 3. Then what do you have to do? First, you have to remember quarter 2. So this is here, the x-axis. You have to rotate 45 in the quarter 2, and then you have to rotate 45 from the x-axis in the quarter 3 in order to find now the angles. Then here is 45 and here is 45. Then I need to find now the measure of this angle. You have to say 180 minus 45 or 90 plus 45, which is 135. And here 180 plus, this is 180 plus 45, which is 225. So the two angles that its cosine is negative square root of 2 over 2 will be 125, 135, and 225.
Or we can say 360 minus 135.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes, teacher.
Thank you so much. Now after 1 minute, the period will finish. I will stop here. Tomorrow, inshallah, we are going to talk about how to solve trigonometric equations.
Okay, teacher. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.